This episode of Postcards from DCT is generously sponsored by Linda Leslie. Linda has been a licensed retailer since 2014 and has won the Royal LePage Directors Gold and Platinum Awards on multiple occasions. With her expert area knowledge and personal attention, she will find the perfect home for you. You can contact Linda directly at 905-961-5344 or check out her website for contact information and current listings, www.lindaleslie.com.
Welcome back to Postcards from DCT. In this segment of Close to the Curtain, we'll be talking about you. Not you personally, but you, the audience. Instead of hearing from us, you'll be hearing from some of the people that watch us. And in our Dramatic Moments segment, Ellie will be talking about what the audience looks at, the stage. Enjoy.
What, no drama this week?
Oh, that's a good question. You know, I was just saying to myself the other week, Claire, you seem to be really calm these days. What's going on? And you know what? I had to stop and have a good think about that. And you know what I've come to realize?
You realized you're off your meds?
What? No. Why would you ask that? Oh, because I talk to myself and I answer myself by name. Oh, geez, no. I've been doing that since I was a kid. Now that I'm an adult and I'm living alone and I work alone, and let's face it, I'm confined to my house, well, I talk to myself all the time. What choice do I have? And I find that I'm really quite interesting to talk to. Plus, I'm very funny.
Oh, you really are. Should I call a doctor?
No. I guess I'm just missing an audience, aren't you? I mean, I can make myself laugh and I can make myself cry when it comes to that, but I don't get a lot of feedback from myself. Except for the crying part, because that actually leads to a feeding frenzy. No, I really need the reaction of an audience to be at my best.
Won't be long. We can say the end in sight, I hope.
Well, I hope that when we finally do get back on stage, that our audience comes with us. Maybe we'll even see some new faces in the crowd and new faces on stage. Wouldn't that be great?
Now you're talking.
Hey, never mind looking at me like that while you're thinking about new faces. I've told you once, I've told you 100 times, I am not getting a facelift. All right, let's take my neck to the back of my head and let's roll.
Yeah, speaking of the back of your head, the backlight's not even on.
Well, speaking of not being a genius, your headset's plugged into your pocket.
A way to ruin the movie magic, Claire. Jeez.
In this week's episode of Close to the Curtain, we're going to ask our audience members how they feel about DCT. So feel free to leave your comments on this post. And remember, be kind, but be honest. Thank you.
So my first experience with Dunnville Community Theatre was back in high school, back in 1984, I believe. And thanks to Nancy, she sort of talked me into coming out, and it was really neat. I was able to meet a whole lot of really fun people that I still know and speak with quite often today. In that first year, I did a little bit of on-stage stuff. I played a bellhop in Plaza Suite. It was a little scary. Like, I wasn't used to being on stage. I'm not a on-stage kind of person. But it was really fun just, hanging out and being part of the whole process with a lot of, really fun people. And so from that point on, I was doing more backstage stuff. And then eventually in 93, I directed The Melville Boys by Norm Foster. I just got so tied up with work and other things going on that I didn't get a chance to get back to town for many performances, but a few years back, I started to get back into it, and yeah, just really enjoying seeing the shows that the group has put on. So, I think part of the dream is that, when retirement hits, maybe moving back to the area and getting involved with the group again. So, yeah, it is a part of my life, and it's something that we look forward to. Whenever there's a play on, we get in touch with our friends, and they sort of, coordinate a date that works for all of us, and we go and see the show together. We get to see them, and yeah, it's just a great community project. So I'm really a big fan. Yeah.
Hi everyone. I had the privilege of meeting Claire and being asked to take some pictures for their play. I do that on the side now as I'm a retired nurse, so it was a privilege to come out and watch some of the rehearsals. So I got to see the play from infancy to the birth of the showing of the night that I went. And I have to tell you, from start to finish, what a difference. It was an honor to be involved right from the beginning, because I got to see the development of the characters and how well it came together in the end. I was really blown away at how well it was put together. I really, when I first saw it, thought, wow, what's going to happen here on opening night? And was absolutely amazed and thrilled, and thought it was one of the funniest plays I actually ever saw. There was a few people locally that were in it that I knew from different positions, and they played their part so well, and I was so surprised at how well they did it and how much fun it was. I got to be in the first row, so it was really, really cool because I got to see everything close up, and it was absolutely amazing. I would highly recommend anyone to go see one of their plays at any given moment if you get the opportunity. It is so much fun, and they are so talented. It was amazing. Great experience.
So Kelly, you were just you were dragged along because because you guys go everywhere together.
Yeah, I wouldn't call it dragged along. And Dave, right from early on in our relationship, was talking about his time at the Dunville Theater.
Oh, okay.
Always had a lot of fond memories that he shared about his time there. And so it always sounded very interesting. I've had a few experiences being in plays when I was in school,
Yeah.
and they were interesting and fun times too, right?
Yeah.
So yeah, I could connect to him on that basis, and so we went out, and it was fun. There's people that we knew involved in the process, so I like that dimension added to it. Like, we see a lot of plays, even professional stuff. We like to go to Theatre Aquarius, and we've seen some stuff in Toronto.
Yeah.
And really enjoy going to theater. So when you've got that added dimension of people being involved and watching them play these
Yes.
roles, and being people other than who they really are, it's kind of it's fun to watch.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And now, if either one of you had to pick the end, I'm going to ask each of you to pick a favorite play that you've seen since you've gone back to going to DCT to see the theater.
Oh, well, The Confessions of a Dirty Blonde was was quite a fun show with that interesting twist. And The Sloth.
Yeah.
We just watched that and went, what's going on? This guy turned into a sloth. Is it real? Like, and it was a bit of a head scratch, and you're looking at that going, okay, so did that really happen, or is everybody crazy? Like, are they imagining all this stuff happened and that, her husband turned into a sloth? And the, what was the other one? Oh, The Nuns. What was that one called?
That was called Nonsense.
Nonsense. I keep wanting to say Sister Act. Nonsense. That was fun. That was a great storyline in that one, and the cast in it were spectacular. It was really fun. So, yeah, those are the last few that we've seen since getting back, and I'm just, it's kind of, the whole COVID thing has been such a letdown. It's just interrupted everything. And like Kelly said, we get seasons tickets for the Theatre Aquarius.
Yeah.
Yeah, and there's great shows there too, and so we haven't seen that in quite some time. But I I still, I'd kind of rather still take the trek to Dunnville and watch some of the plays there, because they're just, there's just that personal connection, which I really like. So I think that's a big part of it.
And do you ever come to a dinner theater, or do you usually go to an opening night, or?
I don't think we've done an opening night there in a while. Haven't done the dinner theater mostly because of my work hours. I work Saturdays until
of course,
4.
yeah.
So by the time we get out of here and get the dog looked after and all that stuff and get to town, not saying it's not going to happen when
Right.
things are up and running again, because we do enjoy that too. And yeah, there were a few, from many years ago, about the Optimist Hall that we went to, and they were always a fun time. So
Yeah,
I recall that going to the Optimist
yes,
Hall.
that's right. Yeah, you did go to some there.
Yeah.
Yeah.
yeah. That was a good venue.
Yeah.
Hi, my name is Cam Lavoie. I have a website named Scribbles. It's a community website. It features what my friends and family have been up to, their pets, somebody has a new baby. All those things are in my website. I like to keep it a happy place. There's so many negative things on the website these days, on the internet these days. Like, it's good to have an alternative. So,
Yeah.
And one of the things I like to feature on my website has been the Dunnville Community Theatre plays. I think it's been about a decade now that I've been seeing these shows. First one was the Naughty or Nice variety show. My friend Chris Snow was part of the community theater back then, and he mentioned they were doing it. I went there with my sister and my partner at the time, and we loved it. I fell in love with the theater. I fell in love with the people. I've always referred to the Dunnville Community Theater as the little engine that could, because they can always take just a few little props and convert it in. Now you're in an airport or wherever, and I love that they can do so much with so little and really come up with a great production. So that's always been something I love about the whole DCT.
Naughty and Nice was a good place to start, right?
Mhm.
Because there was a lot of variety
There's so
there.
much going on, yeah.
Yeah.
And it was unscripted, like each person had their own thing, right?
Yeah, yeah.
So I thought, oh, this is an interesting
That would've been
concept.
fun.
And then the next time I went, it was an actual production and characters and whatnot. And I thought, oh wow, look, they could do this too. Like,
Yeah,
this is really
yeah.
impressive, you know?
So for 10 years you've been going, and do you have a favorite play?
I think, like, they're all really great, but the one that sticks out would be the Kitchen Witches.
Aha.
And that's because, unbeknownst to me, I was going to appear on stage. They asked me up on stage. The two main characters in the Kitchen Witches are these two chefs, and they're going to have a little bake-off. So they needed a volunteer from the audience, and that volunteer was me, apparently. And I knew right away something was up when I got up on the stage and they handed me one of those ponchos like you'd use at Niagara Falls to make like the Maid of the Mist.
Oh, that would have scared me.
Mhm. So I thought, what am I in for here? So as it turned out, they had me sitting in the middle of the room, of the stage rather, and the two different characters were concocting these desserts with whipped cream and chocolate sauces and you name it. And one would make something and like, hey, here, try this one. Oh, try this one. And the whipped cream is flying and there's stuff all over. And at the end of this little segment, I had to choose which of the two characters' dessert I liked the best. And the one character had been a little more aggressive, I guess would be the term. So I said her, right? And then afterwards, they asked me, like, when the show was over, why did you pick? I said, she scared me. And it was funny because her husband was in the audience. And he said, I was here the other night for the show, and they had me go up there. I did not. And I said, well, I guess I know who you picked, right?
I'll bet.
In the doghouse, right?
Oh, yeah, yeah.
So yeah, that show, you know, because I'm on stage and I wasn't expecting to be,
Right.
that one really sticks out. But there's been some where, I wish I could remember. There was one, it was in a hospital. It can damage your health. I think.
Yes, it would have been
Yeah.
called It Can Damage Your Health.
I was crying I got tears because the characters and the stories, and it was just like, I'm really buying into this.
Oh,
you know?
good. Yeah.
And when it was done, I thought, wow, like they're just so like this could be on Broadway, this could be Toronto, New York, whatever, and here we are in Dunnville at the top of the Optimist Club or in the Anglers Club or wherever,
Yeah.
and it's and they're doing it, and it's such a great feeling to just you get to know the people because a lot of the same faces are in the shows, although their faces may be disguised in some way, but it's like, there's Claire, there's Diane, there's Judy, it's just such a cool little group that I can't imagine not wanting to go to the shows.
That's good.
So, if you had something to say to people who haven't been to see one of our shows, or people who are not involved with our group, what would you say to them?
What are you waiting for?
I say take the risk.
I mean,
you really don't know until you go how
Yeah.
much fun it is,
mhm.
how interesting it is, and you'll get something out of it. I guarantee it.
Yeah, and it's not like you're not paying hundreds of dollars like you would at a show in Toronto or anything like that. Incredibly affordable, and it's just a lot of fun. We've never walked out of a play there anyway. And thought, didn't really like that. Like everything has been great. Whereas, other plays we've seen, we've walked out of and went, could have done without that.
Yeah.
But
And paid a lot of money for it.
exactly. Yeah. So no, it's that's what I would tell people. Is just just get out there and see a show. Support your community. Support your neighbors that are in it.
Yeah.
There's a lot of people involved in getting a show together. So you've got not just the people you see on the stage. There's the directors, producers, the people that looked after the advertising, and the stage crew, and the printing of the programs. There's just there's a lot of hands are involved in getting a play to come together, and it's I hate the thought of not supporting something and then having it go away.
Yeah.
So by doing it, you're just supporting something that really means a lot to a lot of people, and you get a couple of hours of entertainment out of it too. So what's not to love about that?
Hi there. This episode of Close to the Curtains is a little shorter than usual. By the way, the kitten's just here to make me look cute and believable. You've done your job, thanks. We didn't get a lot of feedback from our audience members because they don't want to be in front of the camera or on the stage. They are, in fact, the audience. I remember before I took to the stage, being in the audience and how much fun it was. Community theater is great. Your friends, your family, your community members up on stage entertaining you, putting their hearts and their effort on the line for some laughs and some applause. If you have been in the theater audience before, you know what I'm talking about, and I'm looking forward to seeing you back after the pandemic. If you've never come out, I highly recommend it. Come on out, have a good time. You won't regret it. Thanks.
I can't imagine not wanting to go to the shows.
It was great to hear from some of our audience members, and we hope that you'll come out and join our audience as soon as we're back on stage, whenever that is. Now prepare to be educated with
Most people have a general idea about terms like stage right or upstaging, even though they come from the language of theatre. The terms originated with the use of the traditional proscenium stage. The kind that was in your school gym, with rugged wooden floors that could give you bad slivers, and curtains that were in the school colors instead of the proper utilitarian black. 3 walls, and the opening to the audience, kind of like a window through which we see the action of the play. That's what we call the 4th wall. Did you know that these stages are basically divided into 9 areas? Center stage is, the center of the grid. Downstage is the area closest to the audience. Upstage is the area farthest from the audience. Old theaters often have raked stages, which means that there's an incline as you move away or up from the audience. So you basically have up right, up center, up left, stage right, center, stage left, down right, down center, down left. By the way, stage right is the actor's right when facing the audience. So, if you're in the audience, you are looking at what is to you the left side of the stage. In our culture, we read left to right, and directors make use of that to guide the audience focus. Down center is an obvious power point, but generally speaking, stage left is a stronger power position than stage right. And the origin of the term upstaging? We know it means someone is pulling focus or drawing more attention to themselves, often to the detriment of the play. Now, if you're supposed to be sharing a scene, but have a big ego, you can pull focus by literally moving upstage, so the other actor has to turn to look at you. They're forced to make you the focal point. This has been LEB from the DCT with another dramatic moment.
So, did you ever use any of the auto settings on the camera? Any one of them? And then when you try to recreate that shot later, you have no idea what setting it was that the camera decided to use, and you can't figure it out no matter how many combinations you try. Yeah. Oops.
Shut up, Charles!